Mukesh Kapila is the former head of the UN mission in Sudan. He joins us from Geneva. Mukesh, thank you so much for your time. Tell me, while you were in Sudan, how did you find your dealings with the government of Omar al-Bashir?
When I was head of the UN in Sudan, the Sudanese state ruled everything. So this was a very deep state that had its tentacles in every part of the economy, the security, the normal life, cultural life of the country. So Bashir was Sudan and Sudan was Bashir.
That's really interesting. You know, it reminds me of what people say North Korea is about. Apparently in North Korea, to simply live in the capital, Pyongyang, you have to be a signed-up member of the Communist Party, or you have to express your loyalty to the family of Kim Jong-un. So are you saying that it was literally impossible to live a normal life or to be successful in Sudan if you didn't have some sort of connection to Omar al-Bashir or one of his cronies?
Well, there were brave souls who kept on their lives in remote areas, remote locations. And as you know, the insurgency in Darfur, Blue Nile, and the Nuba Mountains came about from that. But yes, by and large, you couldn't get a job anywhere. The military was all dominating, ruled by Bashir. And of course, you couldn't get any businesses started or to take your money in and out of the country without the support of the regime. So absolutely. I've, by the way, also been to North Korea, and the parallels you draw are very apt.
So how difficult is it going to be to dismantle this legacy if it was so far-reaching?
Well, that is a very good question. I think the government has, the transitional government has made an essential first step, and they are to be applauded for doing that. But they shouldn't underestimate how deep the tentacles run. And now comes a more difficult phase, because I don't think the elite, which must number hundreds of thousands of people who were dependent on the patronage of Bashir and the National Congress Party, to just take it lying down. So I think the transitional government should prepare itself for a resistance at all levels, but they must continue. I think dismantling, half dismantling a regime would be the most dangerous of all situations to be in. Now they have to go the full hog.
Are there any indications at all, were there ever any rumors when you were in Sudan about how much money Bashir and those who he was closest to had stolen from the country?
Oh, well, not rumors. I think putting together little bits of information we get both from Western financial sources as well as from inside the country, the money that was salted away over the decades must be ranging to billions of dollars. Several Western banks have been fined for shielding his money, and rightly so. And I think an important part of the transitional government's role is going to be to do a forensic accounting to find out where exactly are these billions of dollars and how much of them can be returned. That's an important part of accountability, without which dismantling is not complete.
OK, now that Omar al-Bashir has gone, do you think he's ever going to end up at the International Criminal Court? While he was president, he was always very careful about where he traveled. He would go to certain African countries where he knew the leaders of those nations would make sure that he wasn't arrested. But obviously, the situation is different now. If he were to be sent to the International Criminal Court, first of all, do you think that might happen? But what do you think the repercussions might be back at home? Because, as you say, he still has supporters.
He has supporters. But I think once the wheels of justice start grinding, and in this case, the original wheel turned when the Security Council referred the genocidal regime of Bashir to the International Criminal Court. So with recent developments, I think the chances of him appearing in front of the court, International Criminal Court, have increased, and I'm quite optimistic. But by the way, the important thing is justice. And the important thing is that justice should be seen to be done. And for that, we require a mixture of both domestic justice as well as international justice. So there may be legal obstacles in the way of getting him to turn up at The Hague. But I wouldn't rule out the possibility of a deal between the International Criminal Court and the reformed judicial apparatus in Sudan to ensure that justice is done, which is of international standards. And above all, it is not the corruption that's the most important question as far as Bashir is concerned. It is the fact that crimes against humanity of a genocidal nature were committed in Darfur, Nuba Mountains, Blue Nile, elsewhere. And unless there is accountability for that also, then I think that the task of rebuilding the Sudanese state and bringing sustainable peace and development will not be achieved.
Mukesh, absolutely super enlightening to hear about your experiences in Sudan and also where you think the country is headed. What an absolute pleasure to have you on the programme. Mukesh Kapila speaking to us from Geneva.